Hi, my name is Jordan. I've been spending the last 3 years animating for my channel on Twitch. I started animating because I want to make the channel stand out amongst other channels on the platform. I wanted to use my engineering and creative background to find a way to engage with my community. I've spent hundreds of hours creating custom channel point redeems, sub alerts, and bit alerts. If you're thinking about beginning animation for content creation, this video might save you a lot of time. So let's talk about expectations versus reality. It did differentiate the channel, it just didn't differentiate the channel as much as I thought it would. The reality is that the people who enjoyed watching me definitely appreciated the extra effort, but it didn't necessarily always resonate with everybody on the platform. People also might not know what they're looking at, whether it is purchase content or is custom and something creative themselves. And oftentimes people might not have seen your creation. They may only come in your channel for a few minutes, and you have a hard time capturing their attention when you don't even know that they're there. Another expectation was that animations worked well in any category, but the animations worked better for me in more entertainment-based categories. Something more like just chatting or marbles on stream. Much of the time a person might be wanting to watch or interact with a game. So having an animation play over it might interrupt the stream. Also, when I started, I thought I would be able to get more complex into it, try to take on things like DMX lighting, but I ended up having to simplify my workflow to iterate and create more content. So let's talk about major mistakes. One of the projects that I took on was far too long of an animation. It was closer to 50 seconds and required much more keyframing of the entire animation. This was time I could have used to create shorter and more quality animations. Another major mistake that I felt like I had was not understanding Creative Commons law well enough. When I began, I was trying to recreate things from pop culture just in animation form, but after a while I realized I could add more simple humor to accomplish better storytelling and entertainment. Something else to talk about, not necessarily a mistake, but an area of concern. So I shot a lot of my footage in 1080p 30 FPS, and while I feel like that's very good for Twitch, it does leave it open for potential issues in the future. It is possible that I should have shot in 4K, or possibly even 60 FPS. If I need better resolution or frame rate in the future, I would need to rework or scrap my creations. So let's talk about breakthroughs or systems that worked. When I began getting into the Unreal Engine, that was one of the major breakthroughs. I had started off in Blender, but when I got to Unreal, I felt like the lighting and rendering was easier to manage. I also enjoyed a lot of the technology that Unreal has to offer. The Apple AR kit allowed me to create facial motion capture data for my metahuman character. The Unreal ecosystem assets were more easily integrated into my projects. I think one of the other better breakthroughs that I encountered was beginning to utilize the metahuman. Once I began creating animations with the metahuman, I began feeling like I was creating animation quality more in line with video games. Also, some of the customizability of the metahuman, I felt like it gave better clothing options and hairstyles. My understanding now is that they charge for clothing though. Taking more time off of streaming allowed me to accomplish more work, do more research, and allowed me to iterate more and have a more continuous workflow. I had entire days to work on projects instead of picking them up after streams in a stop-start format. So if I started now, I would suggest starting with the tool that you want to use long term. So for me, that would be the Unreal Engine. I would stick with that because I don't want to relearn the tool all the time. I want to be producing quality content from the get-go. Now my understanding is Unreal Engine doesn't necessarily compile all the final images, so I might have to pick up another tool to compile the final images into something like a WebM, MOV, or MP4 format. Also, if I started now, I would find a character or a family of characters for easier storytelling. I would also find a character that people love. The character that I started off with made storytelling a little bit easier, but became a little bit cringy over time. If you do happen to get into the Unreal ecosystem, I would highly suggest signing up for the Fab Store. Twice a month for the Fab Store, they do release free content, and that's something that you can add to your Epic account. Just for transparency, nobody is sponsored in this video. As a content creator, free things can be hard to come by at times. For me, these were highly valuable assets that I used in my animations. So in hindsight, I love creating animations for my Twitch channel. Yes, it was a lot of effort and a lot of work, but I do get a lot of love, recognition, and support from my community. Seeing all the support that I get encourages me to move forward with future content ideas. Also, if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel. Please comment and like below. Take care.